Welcome to another episode of Discover St. Cloud, Florida. I'm Kristen McCary, and I'm here with your host,
Janine Corcoran, broker for Corcoran Connect, a real estate company.
It's time for our market report.
I can't believe it. Here we go again, folks.
I know. So what happened in July of 2023?
So in July of 2023, we always like to start with 34769. Folks, this is single family homes that have sold. And we had a total of 28 homes that sold. 26 of them were just single stories, of course, because this is the downtown area of St. Cloud where we have a lot of the historic homes. Mm-hmm. And it came out to an average of $235.15 price per square foot. And there were only two-story homes, and that was at $143.82 price per square foot.
So your total average is $228.63 per square foot, and that's down month over month, 4.3%. So last month it was $238.91. This month it's $228.63. And it's down year over year, 2.35%. So in July of 2022, it was $234.14 a square foot.
Wow.
And then our median days to contract was 29 days. So it took about a month to get properties under contract, and it took 69 days to get them closed.
Oh, wow.
Total. So total time on the market. Right now there's 63 active homes on the market, and there were 28 homes sold. So it's about a 2.3 month supply.
Wow.
So still low.
Still low.
Still low supply.
Then we have 34771, which covers like our Narcousie area, and we had a total of 72 homes that sold. Out of that, 32 of them were single stories at $257.71 price per square foot, and then that remains 40 homes that were two stories, and they sold at $194.66 price per square foot. So how did we look on that?
So your average total is $222.68 a square foot. It's down month over month, 1.23%. So last month in June, it was $225.45 a square foot. Now it's $222.68. And it's down year over year, 4.24%. So it was $232.53 last year in July. And now it's $222.68. Your median days to contract was 21, and your median days to close was 64. And that excludes new builds because they always
that
skews the numbers. So your median days to contract were 21 and days to close were 64. So again, it's pretty similar.
We're not seeing a lot of appreciation in the properties like year.
Not year over year. Right now, it's kind of holding steady. I feel like some flux is normal. A little bit up, a little bit down is kind of normal, especially when you take into account how many of these were single family homes last July or single story homes versus two story homes. Like different things make the averages, which is why price per square foot is kind of like a good, would you say like a decent indicator, but not the good one? Like there's so much more data out there, but this is just the one that everybody seems to understand.
Everybody seems to go by price per square foot.
So total active homes on the market right now are 248 homes. That's with everything that even the builders have listed in the MLS. Now, granted, sometimes they don't put all their inventory in there, but that's okay. And with 72 properties sold last month, that gives the 34771 zip code a 3.4 month supply. Yeah, so that's gone up pretty healthy amount, but there's so much new construction out there that it wouldn't make sense if there wasn't a lot. So definitely something to consider.
Then we have 34772, and we had 67 homes that sold, and out of that, 47 of them were single stories at $230 price per square foot, and then we have two-story homes, 20 of them sold at $184.05 price per square foot.
Yep. So your average there is $216.30, which is down month over month, 4.89%. So last month it was, or in June it was $227.42, and in July it was $216.30. Year over year, it's also down 6.32%. It was $230.89 in July of 2022, and it is currently $216.30. Your median days to contract, again, 23 days to contract and 59 days to close.
Oh, wow.
So again, kind of like a 3 to 4 week window to get your property under contract, and still a healthy amount of time to go to get closed. Mm-hmm. There are currently 148 active properties listed, and with 67 sold, that gives you a 2.2 month supply.
Wow. Almost getting there.
Yep.
Then we have 34773, which includes Harmony, and we had 13 homes that sold, single story, 4 of them at $214 price per square foot, and two stories, we had 9 of them, and they were at $175 168.18 price per square foot.
So your average at 187.11 is down 1.15% from last month, from June of 2022, which was 189.29. So we're down, $2 a square foot there. Year over year, it's down 12.15% to 212.98 was what it was back in July of 2022, and it's currently 187.11. Again, this is that zip code that's kind of hard because there's not a ton going on out here. So like the numbers can be really skewed one way or another because there's not a lot of there's not a lot of data in there with 13 sold. Median days to contract was 31 and median days to close was 57. So again, a month to get under contract, another month to close is basically your average. There's currently 40 active homes on the market, and with 13 sold, that gives you a 3.1 month supply.
Pretty good. Then we have vacant land, and it looks like vacant land, we have 8 of them. And the biggest, let's go with the lowest sale. The lowest sale was, let's guess, Suburban Estates.
Yep.
It looks like $26.50, the listed and sold for, and that was 2.51. For those who don't know, the land in Suburban Estates basically is just recreational land. Sometimes it's landlocked. You can't really build there, so that's why it's so cheap. It looks like the highest sale was on Hickory Tree Road at 1.2, listed at 1.59, and it sold for 1.250, and that was just 2 acres.
Down on Hickory Tree. So I'll be curious to see what goes in there. I wonder if that's going to be commercial or residential. I mean, it doesn't seem like you could do too much with residential on 2 acres.
No,
so I would imagine that's probably going to end up being a commercial space, but I guess we will find out. And so that leaves us with Harmony. What's going on in Harmony?
It's always good to know what's going on in Harmony. So it looks like we had 7 sales. That's right. Only 1 single story and 6 2-stories. But we had Ashley Park. First of all, we had 2 condos that sold, and the average price per square foot for the condos was $169.82. Of the resales, we had 4 properties that sold in the resales, and they're coming at $181.20 price per square foot. And then we had 1 in the Lakes, which is a 55 and older. So we only had that 1 sale, and that was at $213.81. It's hard to put those 55 and older homes into the same report as single stories because it's a kind of a different market.
It's a totally different. Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, you had your Harmony West. There were 2 sales, it looks like. And then in Harmony Central,
they're coming along.
Yep, they finally got some COs, it looks like, right? They were able to close on those properties. I know we were waiting for some time there.
The models are open.
Yep. So Harmony Central finally got some closed. It looked like they had 6 sold total. Only two of them 1-stories, right?
Yeah, surprisingly.
And that was at $202.01 per square foot, and then 4 2-stories.
Yep, 168.03 on the 2 stories.
Yep.
So a lot lower than 168 versus ours. It's pretty big difference.
Yeah,
different
community. I mean, they share the same Harmony name, but it's kind of like Harmony West and original Harmony. It's still different. Like the amenities are different, the way the houses are set up are different.
Yeah.
The overall aesthetic of the community. It's just a totally different thing, and they all have their own strengths. I
always feel like they're a community, and Harmony Main or whatever normal original Harmony original Harmony just has more charm. So many more amenities to offer and things to do and things like that. So.
Right. I think I'm biased though because I live here.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway,
so that's it. So other than that, I mean, the market's still going. We actually had this conversation yesterday, right, about how the buyers that are in the market to buy are still buying, and houses are still being sold.
Just less buyers.
Less buyers, yeah. And I think it's just gonna be that way for a little bit until
rates change.
Right. I would like a lower rate, but that's okay. I'm going to be happy with what I have.
But we keep trying. You know, there's nothing wrong with just calling a mortgage person, see what whether it's an investment or not,
right?
And just seeing how the numbers work. It's only a phone call to find out if the numbers work.
Right, absolutely. Because we also talked about that there was a situation where somebody had purchased a house in 2021, and so they had an incredible amount of equity. And then when you take out closing costs and all that kind of stuff, they would basically be making a lateral move, but then at a higher rate. So it was like it didn't make financial sense for them. But That's not the case for everybody.
They moved into like a custom home with a pool, and they made an upgrade to
right, and it was a little bit more in an upgrade,
but it wasn't.
But it was a very lateral move. So that one didn't make a lot of sense. But that's not the case for everybody. Some people are coming with even more equity, so they'll come out in a positive way. You could do rate buy downs,
and you don't know until you make the phone call,
right?
And it's just a phone call. How would this work? What would my closing costs be? I want this other house, and just between us and the mortgage person, run the numbers, then you get an answer by the end of the day. It's not that hard. You know, don't be afraid of what you don't know is happening.
The good thing is that you could be sitting on this, you could be putting yourself on the sidelines right now thinking that like, oh, it's not, the rates are so high, it's going to be bad for me. Like, this is not going to work out. But you could be surprised and be like, oh, actually, it's really not that bad. And then if I buy down the rate in 2 years' time, hopefully sometime in the next 2 years, it'll, you'll be able to refinance and get locked in at a lower rate. You know what I mean? So there's definitely options out there.
And the mortgage lenders are being creative too.
They're getting so creative. I love it. I love seeing, like, I see posts all the time and they're like, hey, what if we did this? And I'm like, that's a great idea, but nobody's going to call you right now. So
don't be afraid to sit on the sidelines. Just make the phone call your local realtor or call us and just find out if it works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then you wait.
Right. Exactly. So anyway, that is it for your market report for July of 2023. Thanks so much for joining us. And if you could always find our podcast on online.
Oh yeah, so you can find it online. You can find it on YouTube, Facebook. It's always posted, Instagram.
Yep. We're also available on all your favorite podcast platforms. If you have any questions or comments, if you want to, give us your thoughts. Give us something to talk about.
Give us a call at 1-844-St. Cloud. That's STCLOUD.
Or you can email us at discoverstcloud@gmail.com. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next episode.